Good evening. Welcome again to So Into Bourbon. Charlie, happy National Bourbon Day.
It is National Bourbon Day. Thank you, Glenn. And happy National Bourbon Day to you as well.
What are we doing tonight to celebrate National Bourbon Day?
Tonight, to celebrate our native spirit, we're celebrating with Wild Turkey 12.
Okay, Charlie, so Wild Turkey 12 year. Man, I hadn't even heard of this until you called me the other day and said, guess what I got?
Guess what I got? Wild Turkey 12 year.
Tell us about it.
Wild Turkey 12 year is an export. Well, technically for us, it's an import because we export it and then import it back. So this particular bottle came all the way from Japan.
Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So it was at first released in the US and Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became a Japan-only release, correct?
That is correct.
Late 80s, early 90s?
And it is standard Wild Turkey 101. So
Okay.
the same mash bill, the 75% corn, 13% rye, 12% malted barley that you know and love. It is the exact same, except it is 12-year age dated.
And supposedly hand-selected by
Supposedly
the
hand-selected.
Russells.
Now, I will tell you this. There are a lot of beautiful bottles. And if you're wondering what we're sipping on, it's good old-fashioned, regular old Wild Turkey 101.
Oh, I can't believe you bought that little bottle.
I know, what a piece of shit. There are a lot of beautiful bottles out there and presentation. There may not be a better presented bottle than this. I mean, it is gorgeous. We will post detailed pictures. It'll be on our Instagram, on our Facebook page. But there's just not a piece of this. You know, it's beautiful blue. It looks like, you know, kind of wood paneling, royal blue. It's got the description of what it is. And then when you open it, oh, I mean, it's just,
Yeah, that's a beautiful
I
bottle.
mean, it's just gorgeous.
Set it up here so we can zoom in on it there so people can see it.
I mean,
It's just a really beautiful bottle.
It is. And on National Bourbon Day, you want to celebrate something that is uniquely American. And there's nothing more uniquely American than a bottle of Wild Turkey that you can't buy in America. Probably didn't think that
Although, frankly, if it were sold in the United States, we may not have even been able to get a bottle.
That's a great point. So this retails for what, 60, 80 bucks in Japan,
60
American
to
dollars?
80, yeah, I believe
Yep.
so.
And I paid $150 for this bottle
Yeah.
at a local bourbon bar that has some. I don't know how, but they do.
Well, what happens? People go overseas, they go to Japan. Oh, from what I understand, this is not only sold in Japan, it's also sold in South Korea and
Australia. Yeah, Australia is a huge bourbon market, and they love Wild Turkey in Australia. One of the Master's Keep, the Wild Turkeys, one of them is only available in Australia.
Really?
Master's Keep, it's called Wild Turkey 1.
Huh.
And it is
Interesting.
only available there. So I am very excited for this.
Me too.
I'm really excited about this.
And if you watch our channel, you know we just recently did the Jack Daniel's 12 year. So I'm pretty anxious to see how this measures up and compares to that. Very different whiskeys. But
Yep. And Wild Turkey 101 by itself is a great pour. And I like that people call it a budget pour. You know, get you a $25 bottle of Wild Turkey 101. It's great. It's great.
And cleanse my palate while you're
You
opening.
cleanse. God, it almost hurts me to open this because it's just so beautiful, but
Good job, Charlie.
thank you. Oh, just the most beautiful bottle.
So this was reintroduced in September of 2022.
Look at that.
It's a beautiful color.
It is. Oh my goodness.
Just like your perfect quintessential
Don't drink yet. I
bourbon
got
color.
cleanse.
No, I'm not. I'm just looking.
Wow.
Man. It's very fruity.
Fruity,
Forward.
yeah.
Very fruity. Almost reminds me of the Wild Turkey, the rye, the rare breed rye.
Uh-huh. A lot of apple.
It's sweet, but it's not like a
Yeah.
corny sweet. Not
And there's a
much
little,
ethanol
not
on
much. There's a little bit of that kind of rye spice on the nose too.
And not quite as oaky as I expected
No,
for a
not,
12 year.
That's why I kept going back to it. I was like, man, this doesn't have that kind of older age. All right, let's get in this. Cheers. Happy National Bourbon Day.
Happy National Bourbon Day.
God bless you, Jimmy and Eddie Russell.
I'll let you go. Okay, maybe I won't. You drink, Charlie. I'll go. So, and I'm gonna have to get back into it again. I'm gonna have to have a second taste here, but
I'm gonna have a third taste.
the fruit from the nose transfers over, not quite as sweet on the palate as you would think from the nose. A little bit of oak. Actually, the oak's pretty forward, but it's not a bad oakiness. It's not overly bitter.
It's just exactly. Buyer's remorse is a very real thing, especially for bourbon. And if you have been bourbon shopping, whiskey shopping in the last 5 years, you have probably spent 40, 50, 70, 80, who knows how much money on a bottle that you're just like, that wasn't very good. When you have a bottle that is exactly what you expect it to be, that lives up to the hype and matches, yes, that is what I thought it should be. That is what it should taste like. I would buy it again at the price I paid for it. I may even pay more. That's what that is. It's sweet, but not over sweet.
Right.
It's oaky, but not over oaky. It's 101. It's proofed perfect. It's just there is no such thing as a perfect, but it is exactly what you would want out of a special edition 12-year age stated wild turkey. It's perfect.
I think it's very apropos that we chose this for National Bourbon Day because that is a straightforward bourbon whiskey.
That is a bourbon drinker's bourbon whiskey.
Yeah,
it's sweet, but not. I mean, it's oaky and it's it's proofed perfect. You want to pour it over an ice cube, which would be a sin in my opinion, but it's just great.
And the finish is really
long.
It really lingers
long, which that's one of the things with older bourbon. It should stick around a while. That oaky and the tannins from the wood. That's a great pour.
Yeah,
it's a great pour.
Kind of sticks to the roof of your mouth, and now I'm getting the semi-sweet chocolate. It's more okay. So let's compare it a little bit to the Jack Daniel's 12 that we just had.
Okay.
Once again,
the only
totally
similarities are
totally
12 years old. Okay.
That was a really, really good bourbon. Actually, one of my favorites that I've had in the past year. Totally different.
Yep.
That had such a rich, thick mouthfeel and very viscous and very good, but not super complex. Not.
Yeah.
It didn't. Don't feel like it really challenged your.
Just big, bold Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
Like super Jack Daniels, like premium Jack Daniels. This is refined and complex and kind of cascading flavors, and it leaves you wanting to sip more.
Yeah. Should we score it?
Do you want to score it?
Why not? The people want to know.
The people want to know if they go to Australia and they find a bottle and they want to bring it back, they want to know what Glenn and Charlie score it.
I'm sure
So they're going to be in Australia.
No.
And the Australian's going to be like, have you seen Glenn and Charlie over there? They got a kangaroo and they rated it a 4.5. Wallabies.
So
Wallaby.
on my third taste, that apple, that fruit note that I picked up on the nose is now coming through in the taste, which I really like. And I'm also starting to get more of the vanilla and vanilla, chocolate. Once again, just your classic bourbon flavors coming through.
It's a 9 out of 10. There
9.
you go. It's a 9. It's a 9 out of 10. this is what you want. Like this, if you're buying a special bourbon that comes in a box that says that it's special, and a guy like Jimmy Russell puts his name on it and says this is special, it better taste special. This tastes special.
Well, so I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I'm not gonna go quite as high as you. Just because, and maybe it was just my expectations. It doesn't blow me away.
See,
It's very good, very good.
and this is
And I love the price if you can get it at
well, what was retail on the Jack Daniel's 12?
$88.99
Was it
or
really?
$81.99. Yeah.
I thought it was more than that.
Okay, so I'll put it this way, and I know people are gonna probably blast me for this.
Blast him.
If I had to choose, if this bottle and the Jack Daniel's 12 was on the shelf next to each other, I would buy the Jack Daniel's 12. Would I be displeased if if I couldn't get the Jack Daniel's and I had to buy this? No, not at all.
I prefer this over the Jack Daniel's. I feel like this is more complex. This is more of
I would
that
agree
true
with you.
bourbon flavor. I like the Jack Daniel's, but the Jack Daniel's, to me, and I rated it very highly because I do enjoy it. I think it's great. I think it's an awesome offering. But traditional bourbon, America, doesn't get any more better than that.
Yeah, if you go from that standpoint, if you're a person who believes that, Jack Daniel's isn't bourbon, it's
not. It says on their website it's not. We're not going to argue.
Regardless,
Just talking flavor.
you're probably going to prefer this.
This is better than that. It's close. They're both great, but they're both great for different reasons.
They're
too.
both great. I just feel like the Jack Daniel's is more memorable to me. And
Well,
that's
I'm
all.
already on my
That's
second
all.
pour.
I'm not knocking it. It's
Nope.
great. I gave it an 8.5.
Yeah. How dare you give it
yeah.
an 8.5? It's an awesome pour, and if you can pick it up, I highly recommend it. It's nice when you're rewarded and your purchase is like, yep, you did good on that one.
I
And
feel
that-
like it's getting better every time I taste it.
that's why I'm on my second pour. That's why I didn't go first. I kept drinking.
So maybe, I don't know, check back with me in a week. I may,
Great pour.
the score may raise.
Yep. National Bourbon Day. That's why we're here. We love bourbon. We're so into bourbon. And it's our native spirit. It's amazing how far bourbon has come. As an industry, as a product, it's been around for so long. It's seen the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows. We are not that far removed, and our parents and our grandparents' generation, they couldn't give it away.
Absolutely.
And now fast forward, and we got people waiting in line for, camping out for a day for $40 bottle of Weller 12.
It has spurred a whole tourism industry here in the Louisville, Kentucky area. I just read an article the other day. Louisville, Kentucky was the #1 searched place on Airbnb for the first quarter of the year this year. I'm sure a lot of that had to do with Derby, but I think a lot of it has to do with people looking for short trips to make during the summer, and they're coming in town, they're doing the bourbon tours, and it's kind of like people visiting Napa Valley, California now.
And even if you don't like bourbon or you don't love bourbon, just seeing these distilleries and these bourbon themed restaurants and events and getting out and talking to the people, because the best part about bourbon is, besides the bourbon, is the people. Like the people you meet at these distilleries and the people that you meet at the restaurants and the bars and the bourbon bars and on your tours, and the people that have a shared love. The bourbon community is amazing for the most part.
They're real people.
They're real people, and they have a real enjoyment for this magical brown water that we love just so very much.
Bringing tears to my eyes, Charlie.
I just get emotional about bourbon.
All right, Charlie. Anything else to say on this one?
I don't think so. I think it's great. I think it's National Bourbon Day. I think we are also giving away a hat.
Yes, we forgot about the hat.
And on the 4th of July, America's birthday, We're drawing.
America.
We're drawing. And here's how to win. You have to be a follower and a subscriber of us on the YouTube. And we're going to pick one of you crazy people who like us, and we're going to send you a box that is, we've been working on it tonight. It is getting overfilled.
There's some good stuff in that box.
I'm going to have to get a bigger box to put stuff in. And we have a month left, a little less than a month.
Yeah.
But there's more stuff going in there. You want to win. So follow us and subscribe. Watch or comment. Send us an email if you want. What's our email address?
soandabourbon@gmail.com. Follow me on TikTok, The Whiskey Realtor. Not the, just Whiskey Realtor.
Follow us on Instagram at @SoAndABourbon.
And join our Facebook group, So and the Bourbon, on
We put
Facebook.
some good stuff there.
Absolutely.
Glenn, happy National Bourbon Day.
Happy National Bourbon Day, Charlie. And as always,
Keep your bung holes tight. I cannot believe you didn't like that.
I gave it an 8.5. What do you mean I didn't like it?
Ridiculous. It's a great.
All right, did you fart?
No, I hit the thing. Not yet. If I fart, you'll know.
Did you see how excited I got? Like,
Did you
yes,
fart?
I'm not the only one.
Jeez. Glenn, have a glass of water. Action. Welcome.
All right, here we go. National Bourbon Day, Wild Turkey, 12-year action.